Hey, welcome to the second round. We are up against Tony Montana, who's known to play Elves a lot of times. So I don't hate my hand, even though we're on the draw. It has acceleration and a way to kill him, and also a couple of mana neutral creatures. So even though it doesn't look like a turn 2 and probably not like a turn 3 kill, I still think this is like one of the better hands to keep in the mirror match. And as it turns out, it's Knockout Forest into Nil Sentinel. Yep, that's Elves. On our turn, we just play Dried Arbor. I think he just plays another creature and keeps, brings some beats. Yeah, more Nettle Sentinels, more good. And we go for the Glimpse. Play Glimpse, play Quirion Ranger. And let's see where this goes. Untap the Dried Arbor. Don't play the land because we might draw Cradle. Play the Wild Symbiote because it's another mana neutral creature with Quirion Ranger. I think I bounce a Quirion Ranger here. And I should play Nettle Sentinel here, I think. That would probably be better. I play Quirion Ranger. I think Nettle Sentinel is better because if I draw Virtual Rangers, then that's an easier way to keep going. I played the Quirion Ranger because that way I can untap the Dried Arbor, but it doesn't really make much of a change, I think. Much of a difference. So yeah. Yeah, I should have definitely played the Nettle Sentinel there, because if I draw Virtual Ranger now, I can untap the Dried Arbor and keep going with Virtual Ranger and Nettle Sentinel. I mean, had I drawn Virtual Ranger here, I could still play it and do something, but I would be like half a mana short starting the chain. But doesn't matter anyway. We have to pass the turn and hope that the opponent doesn't kill us. Two Nettle Sentinels, like when the opponent passes with two Nettle Sentinels on turn 2, it's always a bit scary because Heritage Druid can go super crazy in the third turn. Fortunately for us, he apparently didn't have any of the big payoff spells, or maybe just a natural order but not enough creatures. That also sometimes happens. It's annoying, but can't really do much about it. He plays a Wild Symbiote, and then it's our turn. And looking at this hand, this is why we play Elves. There's just so much value in this hand. Looking at this, I feel like, oh, we're at least gonna draw like 2 or 3 cards, and there's even a chance that we just kill him with Green Sun Zenith, depending on what Visionary draws. Like finding a second Nettle Sentinel would even be like kinda okay. So let's see. At this point, we're just trying to maximize mana. We get the Visionary out there, and we draw Glimpse. And I think at this point, all I want to do is just press this button. Oh. Okay. I thought this was a very long Glimpse chain. That I should pre-review these things. So yeah, you just saw that we just got there with the Crowd of Behemoth, played a couple of Elves, had tons of mana floating, and we got the opponent. So that's the first game. Let's head into the second game. In the second game, being on the draw is really bad. I think on the draw, your win percentage is much lower with Elves. The way I sideboarded, I brought in the 5 discard spells, and I took out the late game stuff, like 2 Nissa, Reclamation Sage, as well as 1 Wild Symbiote and 1 Elfish Visionary. Because even though like those are not terrible, and even just being a 1 mana creature is already pretty good in the Elves mirror because of Glimpse, those are the only other cards you can really take out. And being on the draw, I do want the discard. Being on the play, I could see people making a case for not wanting the discard, but I think like at least over stuff like this, and this, you still want the discard on the play. And I usually bring in all 5 discard spells on the play anyway. But we are on the draw. So let's see what the opponent can do. Opponent mulligan to 6, and at this point, like, acceleration doesn't really do much, and there's a slight chance, even though he mulligan to 6, that he's gonna kill us with Glimpse on the second turn. So I'm pretty sure that I will play Thoughtseize here. Yeah, I played Thoughtseize. The opponent shows us Scavenging Ooze, which I really didn't expect post-board in the mirror. A Cradle with the wrong color, like our Cradles are much more beautiful, and the 2 big payoff spells. Since Glimpse is the one much more likely to kill us on the next turn, if like any of those cards would ever kill us, I will take Glimpse and leave him with this. I can also take out Natural Order on the next turn. So I take the Glimpse, pass the turn. The opponent, as far as I remember, just plays Scavenging Ooze and yeah, another Elf, and should probably attack for 1 here. Yeah. On our turn, we draw the Thoughtseize, and I think I actually played the Thoughtseizes here, which is wrong. which is really wrong. I even noticed it in the game, but I was like too caught up and I was like down 1-0 and I was like, oh no, we're not going to do well in this challenge. So yeah, I should have definitely played the Caver Therapy because the life loss is like quite likely to become relevant here looking at this board. So I take out the Natural Order and I think yeah, I even pass because by getting Dryad Arbor here, next turn we have so much more mana of the Quirion Ranger, which is super important. Whereas had I played the Quirion Ranger next turn, I could just play another Quirion Ranger at the Heritage Druid and then replay the land, but having the Dryad Arbor is super important. Like, even if it's just mana neutral, it's still better, because in the long run, like, from the turns going forward, if you don't draw any additional lands, you've got quite a lot more mana. And it does make a difference. Your opponent fortunately only draws a fetch land, and now we draw Cry of Behemoth, so finally we actually have like a way to kill the opponent. So at this point I think I'm just gonna try to set up a way to get to Cry of mana as soon as possible. I run out a couple of Elves. I make use of the Dryad Arbor here. I get Heritage Druid into play, and I wonder... Oh yeah, I'm just gonna draw a card because that gets me closer to Cradle. Pretty sure that I'm just gonna play Zenith for Cradle. Zenith for Cradle, yeah, I wish. Zenith for Visionary into, hopefully, Cradle, I guess. Visionary into... Ah, I thought it was gonna be Cradle. But this guy also helps out a lot, because, like, that way, if you draw something like Wirewood Symbiote, it's a lot easier to generate mana. So I don't hate this guy. If need be, he can even, like, block a Scavenging Ooze, or... like makes it super awkward for Death Touch him to attack. And by awkward I mean like impossible. Opponent fetches Dryad Arbor as he should, but because of Nettle Sentinel actually has to just pass the turn. And we do what we are supposed to, draw the finish him and get there. So easy win, well, I would say, and here we finally equalized and are at 1-on-1. So, tune in for the next round, where we will face a deck I'd rather not face, I think.